All right, hey everybody, welcome to Training. Today is Thursday, April 14th. It is 9:30 in the morning, and looking forward to spending some time with you today. Thank you for joining us as we're going to take today's, I think we've got 4 topics today.
Okay.
And at 4 topics, kind of hit them with a little bit of our faith background. Got some good things to talk about today. So
Yeah. Let's do
Joe,
it.
you ready?
I am ready.
Let's just dive in.
Let's roll it.
Okay,
Right.
So I'm going to give a spoiler again.
Okay.
We're going to spend some time talking about Monday, Thursday. Today is Monday, Thursday. It's actually the number 1 topic today, which is
Wow.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
So we'll dive into that here in just a minute. But first,
Okay.
got 3 just kind of culture things I thought would be fun for us to just to blitz through.
Let's do it. All right.
So there's kind of 2 things that are at the top of the list today. The other big one is Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Are you following the Twitter
I just
stuff?
I listened to some reporting about the back and forth today. I guess I'm still not totally aware of all of his tweets or what's happened. But what an interesting guy. Like, this has probably been the thing I listened to. Was like my first. Like, here's Elon Musk all in one place. Let's talk about what he's done so far in his life and whatnot. So,
Yeah.
But his back and forth with Twitter.
Yes.
Yes.
So last week, I think he bought a bunch of Twitter stock,
Right.
enough to where he was actually the major shareholder.
Right.
There were rumors about he was going to kind of join the board and start making all these changes. That didn't. I don't know all the details, but that didn't pan out. I think they kind of blocked that from happening.
Well, they put a big stipulation of him coming to the board. He agreed initially, and then they announced that he decided not to. So it wasn't Twitter blocking him, but he stepped away for whatever reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then today's new wrinkle is that he has offered to flat out buy Twitter. I think I can't remember 400 million. 41.3 billion
Whoa.
for Twitter.
Whoa.
So he's offering to say, okay, if you don't, I don't know, but he is saying, okay, if you don't want that, how about I'll just flat out buy it from you, so you can
Right.
be the owner, basically do whatever he wants. A lot of people aren't very excited about that idea.
Right.
So this will be a story for a long time, probably.
Right.
Twitter's been kind of in trouble for a long time. Not in trouble, but it's kind of floundering.
Right.
It's kind of not really sure how it fits in with the other social networks.
Right.
How can they be what they are without being just divisive and ridiculous? And so they've kind of been struggling to keep up with Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. So I feel like they probably know they need to make some changes, but I'm not sure if having Elon Musk be the CEO is the right choice.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting days ahead for Twitter.
Very interesting. And I think actually Twitter tried to sue him because they didn't disclose his financial picture when he was buying shares at a lower price because the shares shot up when people saw that Musk was buying shares of it. So it's just an interesting back and forth. And you got to wonder if this is not just kind of a PR thing, like he's bored. What do I do next? Type of a deal.
Yeah.
But he is not one to be subtle. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's what everybody's nerves are. Is like when he gets an idea, like he kind of goes all in and he takes over the ecosystem. Mm-hmm. And if you don't like the direction you anticipate him going, then you probably want to find some way to either manage him a little better,
Yeah.
or to try to block him from that so that you can preserve what you think would be best for your company.
Yeah.
And so now Twitter's in that spot that Tesla was in several years ago.
Yep. Yeah. And he's a very free speech advocate, so I think he's kind of upset that people like Donald Trump have been banned. So I think he wants to open it up, and you can do whatever you want, say whatever you want, which of course there are pros and cons to that.
Right.
So anyway, it'd be very interesting to see. It's early. This was I think early this morning this started happening, so we'll see where this all pans out.
I bet you it'll be trending next week. That's like a bold prediction,
This will
but
be
I could be wrong.
in the news for a while. So
Yeah.
we'll see where our friend Elon ends up.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Okay, let's keep it on a similar note. So along with Elon, Jack Dorsey is also trending this morning.
Okay.
So Jack was one of the original founders of Twitter.
Yeah.
He stepped away for a while, then he came back, and then he just recently stepped down.
Right.
So why he's trending this morning is one of the first big, famous, popular NFTs, we've talked about NFTs before, so non-fungible tokens, he sold his first tweet as an NFT.
Oh, nice.
So his first tweet was something like, setting up my Twitter. It was like the first tweet ever, I think.
Okay.
So he sold that NFT for $2.9 million last year. He sold that tweet for $2.9 million.
Yeah.
So the person who bought that tweet, some kind of an investor, had a lot of money, decided he wanted to turn around and sell it, I think yesterday. So what do you think, Joe? It sold for $2.9 million last year. He tried to sell it yesterday. What do you think the going rate for one of the most popular NFTs in the world is today?
I'm gonna say $25 million.
You're really close.
Oh, okay.
The bid he had 7 offers come in.
Wow.
Ranging from $6 all the way up to $280.
I'm going to say he didn't take anybody up on those offers.
Yeah, correct. So he still owns it. He did not. He decided not to sell. So people are kind of saying like, okay, is the NFT bust already here? Like
Right.
it was a kind of a flash pan thing that was huge for a few months, and now people are realizing
Because that's like a joke.
this is silly. Yeah, to go from $2.9 million to $280 in 1 year.
Jack Dorsey's like, man, thank goodness.
And Jack's probably glad he's not on Twitter anymore. So I think Jack is coming out ahead of all this.
Yes, at Jack.
But-
Way to go, buddy.
Yes, at Jack. But so again, we've talked about NFTs before. Like we don't want to overreact from one thing from one day.
Right.
But some people are saying like, okay, here's the proof. This is just silliness. Do you have any hot NFT takes today?
I don't, because I'm still trying to figure out what it all
Yeah.
means. And I let me admit, I am slow. And if you get it and you see the rationale, and I don't, that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean I have no idea. I have not.
Yeah,
I'm not taking the time to get my arms around this concept.
I know.
And maybe I should.
I
Or
feel
maybe I don't, because it seems like it might be going away.
I think it's a wait and see moment for NFTs to see where they go from here, because
Okay.
I think a lot of people still don't really get them. And I've done a lot of research and I barely understand them, but it's just funny that this is like kind of one of the hallmark, the exhibit A that people give for why this could work, and that was clearly not working. So anyway,
If there was an NFT for sale out there, what would you buy? What do you
I
think?
don't know. I don't know if I would right now.
If it was like the price was right, you feel like you're going to get ripped off. You feel like it could be like just a fun thing for you personally to have.
So one of the biggest NFT markets is the NBA Top Shots. So,
Yes.
so you can buy and own like a replay.
Right.
It's like if LeBron has a monster dunk, you can buy that dunk and you own it. And I'm not keeping super close tabs on it, but my understanding is that those hold their market value fairly well.
Right.
So if I were to do it, that's probably what I would do.
Okay.
It's some kind of sports moment in history that you can own.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I feel the same way.
The big NFTs right now are these silly monkey profile pictures. Have you seen these?
No.
I'll put a couple on the screen, but one of the that's like one of the biggest NFT markets is you can buy these customized monkey avatars that people are using as their profile pictures on Twitter and Instagram. So they're this like unique, one of a kind pieces of art that you buy and you own, but people are buying them for, I don't know, thousands, millions of dollars. I don't know, way too much. So that's one of the biggest NFT markets is these silly little monkey icons.
I feel like the NFT thing, so if our civilization endures for a long, long time and people down the road get to study us in this time history, they're going to get to this section of American life.
Yeah.
This explanation of NFTs, they're going to go, what were these people thinking?
Yes, I think you're right.
What? Monkeys?
I know. It seems crazy, but I think at the same time, I'm also hesitant to joke on it too much because who knows?
Right.
Like this could be the next
Hey.
big thing. So who
Well,
knows?
I'll admit that I'm wrong if I'm wrong about this. I have no qualms with that. I just...
There you go.
I don't know. This seems strange to
It
me.
is. It is very strange.
Oh.
Okay, so we've got Musk, we've got Dorsey, Twitter, NFTs. We've got one fun sports story, but it's not really a sports story.
Okay.
I know you watch a lot of basketball. Did you catch any of the Hornets in the Hawks game last night?
Not last night. No, I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's just a funny story out of that game.
Okay.
So the game was in Atlanta at
Okay.
I think State Farm Arena. This
Yes.
is the Atlanta arena. So Charlotte, the Hornets I think they took a bus into Atlanta. You can fill in the gaps because you used to live there. Apparently,
Right.
there are a lot of train stations near the
Yes.
arena.
Yeah.
So the Hornets, the whole basketball team was on a bus. They're heading to the arena. They get stopped by a train. The train tracks go down. They're waiting for the train, and then the train stops on the tracks. So the Charlotte Hornets are on a bus trying to get to a game, and they're stuck on a train track because the train stops.
Right.
So the whole team is late to the game because they're waiting for this train that's stuck on the rails. So I just think that's hilarious.
Right.
I have a long-standing beef with trains. I have this long list of things that like in 2022 this shouldn't be a problem.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
We should have rocket packs by now. Like there's just a lot of things that science needs to catch up, right?
Yes.
So it cracks me up that we still use trains.
Well, and that they tend to run, and we don't know the half of it, but like they tend to run in busy parts of the city at busy times of the day.
Yes.
And there's got to be a lot of circumstances why that is.
Right.
But how hilarious is that? So there's a funny little reel at the end of the game last night because when Atlanta won, Michael Jordan owns the Hornets,
Right.
and they show him kind of like stomping out of the owner's box because they got eliminated from playoffs. And
Okay.
and I can just see him going, if the Trains weren't gotten away, we would have got here on time. We wouldn't have lost this game, you know.
Right.
But traffic is a real deal. So in Atlanta, they would it'd be news whenever there was like, they would call it a traffic apocalypse. So there was one time it was like Comic-Con, a Taylor Swift concert,
Oh, man.
a Georgia Tech football game, and a preseason Atlanta Falcons game all at the same time.
Oh, my
And
gosh.
so they were saying, just avoid
Don't go anywhere.
inside the perimeter. Like, just
Yeah.
get out of there because it's a real deal because there's so many people
Yes.
in Atlanta. When you're actually applying for a license plate, like going through all the DMV stuff, they actually remind you like how many millions of miles are driven on Atlanta streets every day. It's
Yeah.
like it's like over 1 million miles,
Wow.
maybe close to 2 million now, of just all these cars. Even people with mass transit, like you take those people out of the picture, all that's going on, and so traffic's a deal.
Yeah.
So it's just hilarious that it got in the way of the NBA playing game.
It is funny, and like you said,
hilarious.
it was again had a lot of playoff implications. It's a big game.
Yeah.
And for me, when I think of trains, I can't not think of like, guys shoveling coal in the locomotive. Like it just seems like such an ancient technology to me.
Right.
That especially when we've all been stopped by trains, right? There's a lot of trains around Kansas. That's happened to all of us,
Right.
where you get stuck, and then sometimes they stop on the tracks.
Right.
It's so aggravating, and it just feels like there's got to be a better solution.
Yeah, that's right. I got to say, so I'm an East Sider,
Mm-hmm.
and when I'm coming to the West Side, you can take 21st or 13th.
Okay, yep.
And so I take 13th because the train goes over you.
Yeah.
Or is it the other way around? Which one? No, because 21st you get stuck by trains.
Right,
So like
right,
there's
right.
that kind of, because you just never know what it's
I know.
going to happen, man.
It's crazy. Trains, man.
If you work for the train company, no beef against you.
we love you, but fix it.
We get
There's got to be a better solution.
Okay, all right. Or we can just learn patience.
Well, but then you lose playoff games. So,
Patience, playoff game.
yeah, which is more important? I don't know.
All right.
Okay,
What a hilarious
speaking of
story.
those kinds of virtues,
Right.
Let's spend some time on Monday, Thursday. So I love that it's the number one topic this morning.
Right.
Like Jesus is trending this morning.
Yeah,
Easter is trending. I love
All
it.
right, yes.
So okay, I have to admit, I don't know what Monday actually means.
Okay.
So I'm sure you know. So why don't you refresh us on what Monday means? Why is today a special day? Remind us of what and the Holy Week story. What's happening on Thursday? Let's just talk about that a little bit.
Nice. Yeah, I think the reason it's trending is because the word Maundy is strange. So
Yeah.
what do you do when there's something on your calendar? Oh, I'm going to go look it up. So Maundy Thursday, not Monday Thursday, but Maundy Thursday. So Maundy comes from the Latin word mandatum, which means commandment. So during Holy Week, when Jesus is with his disciples in the upper room on the Thursday of the week, as we kind of reckon it all, he gives them this new commandment that they would love others as he has loved them, right? So this is why and this is like a big communion celebration day and during Holy Week. So Protestant churches tend to either have a Maundy Thursday service or a Good Friday service. Some will have both.
Yep.
Some will even throw in a Easter Vigil, which is like the Holy Saturday after sundown.
Yep.
It's like a way that we anticipate the resurrection because in the Jewish framework, the day starts at evening. So if
Right.
you go to Genesis 1, it was evening, it was morning on the first day.
Yep.
So actually, Easter starts on sundown on Saturday.
Yeah.
And so sometimes there's an Easter Vigil on the Saturday night of the week. And so, so people will dwell upon the love of God. What does that mean? A time of communion, because that's what Jesus did with his disciples on the night that he was later arrested. But before then, he was celebrating the Passover with his friends. So that's why we celebrate Maundy Thursday.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Good Friday is, of course, when Jesus died. So we have a service here. Good Friday tends to be kind of a somber day because we're remembering the death and kind of the horrible parts of the story. But Thursday is kind of like you were talking about, we're remembering the love, kind of the last night with the disciples. So if people watching today, if they kind of want to, I don't know if celebrate is the right word, but if memorialize, really take some time to think about this, what would you recommend? What's a good way to recognize Maundy Thursday?
So I think a time of communion would be good. And so, different Christian traditions, you can do that at home or not. Some churches, they really want you to do it at church with clergy and elders and stuff like that. So I think a time of communion, reflecting on the love of God, it's actually a neat way to think about, like, how can you distill the Christian life? You distill the Christian life through love. So we talked about last week on Sunday, but Paul says in Galatians 5:6, like, the only thing that counts is faith expressing itself through love. And so it's a good way to like recalibrate our lives. are all of my deeds and intentions, all of my aspirations, do they have a foundation of loving God and loving others? This would be a good time of reflection. There's this really funny story, if I could just kind of digress for a moment. A really funny story. It's a rabbinical tale of a wannabe rabbi student goes to the two major schools of rabbinical thought in Jesus' day are Hillel and Shammai. And so the student goes to Hillel, and he says, can you tell me the whole law while standing on one foot? And the guy's irritated by that question, so he whisks him away. So that same disciple, would-be rabbi, goes to Shammai's school. Okay. And Shammai says, don't do to others what you would want your neighbor to do to you. And he did it while standing on one foot. And so he was able to distill his whole life in such a brief statement. Yeah. And I think that's what Jesus ultimately does. He says, this is the sum total, the greatest good of our lives is to love others. And so we really meditate on that idea on Maundy Thursday.
Cool. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. So can you tell the whole your whole intention of the Christian life while standing? How good's your balance? Could you do it while standing on? I don't know.
It's hard to think of anything other. That's the perfect way to sum it up. I can't do any better than I can't beat the old rabbis. So
it's already been thought of. Now it just needs to be lived out, right?
Yes. Right.
Anyways,
exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, that's great. Some fun topics today, but I think it's great for us to remember days like today and this week. Just a real quick reminder and shout out. We'd love to have you at Good Friday services tomorrow here.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock in the Worship Center. We aren't going to stream those because it's really an event you need to be at to really get the whole experience. So we won't be streaming it, but we'd love to have you in the building tomorrow night. And then, of course, on Easter, we got 3 services. We're expecting a big crowd.
Yeah, that first one starts at 8 o'clock instead of 8:15. We're kind of just moving it earlier for the sake of the crowd control. So make sure if you're going to come early, come at 8 o'clock and give somebody a high five on the way in.
Yes, I like it.
Yeah, all right. Sounds
cool.
Good.
Anything else to wrap with?
No, I mean, just hold, if you could do something solid for us. We got good friends in West Michigan. They've got a 4-year-old son, Jack, who's got really tender brain surgery today. And so just think of young Jack and the Lohman family. It'd be great for you to kind of stand in prayer with us on that. So not to end on a heavy note, but this is kind of on my heart and mind today.
Awesome. I appreciate you sharing that. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you on Good Friday and Sunday, or if not, next week.
Sounds good.
See you later, guys.
Happy Easter. Yeah.